Welcome to the Daily Review. This is Razak, Senior Trading Strategist here at CM Trading. And today is October 2nd, 2023, and today is Monday morning. So looking at the highlights of the day, gold continues to trickle lower. But first, looking at today's major economic events. So at 4 p.m. South African time out of the United States, we have an ISM Manufacturing PMI number coming out. Now looking at their various markets, starting out with the Forex symbols, watching the major pairs, looking for some footing after that major sell-off, both the euro, the GBP versus the dollar, and looking at the Turkish lira, making new lows versus US dollar. Now looking at the indices, both the Dow Jones and the NASDAQ steady after government shutdown is averted. Now looking at commodities, gold, as spoken about before, trades lower, and oil retraces. Looking at stocks, they're pretty much all over the place. They're very mixed. We're going to take a part basis. And lastly, looking at cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin gets a spike and holds on to its gains. So let's take a look at the markets and see what we can expect from today's trading. So here we go, starting out with the Euro USD, and on a 4-hour chart, it's a clear indication it's a downwards momentum, downwards trend. That's clear, okay? Now, looking at just the velocity of it, okay? You can see here, pretty much drawing this line, we're still in a downwards momentum, okay? We're trying to look for some footing here. If we do find it, that is yet to be seen. And so we are kind of consolidating, and we found ourselves a bottom, at least for now, a 105-ish level, but that could be breached still, okay? If we look at a weekly chart, that is clearer, that we bounced off of it quite clearly. Now, so keep a mind on this, okay? Just be conscious of the fact that we may test our lows again. However, for now, we have a bottom. Like looking at the GBP USD, also right now on its lows, but bouncing off of it. However, jumping into the Japanese yen, it's on its record lows for the year. And this is really important because if it does break even higher low, okay, 150-ish level, we could see new lows all time. Okay, so just be aware of that. Now jumping into commodities. First, looking at gold. Gold continues to trickle down this morning, just getting that little bit of a pump there. But on intents and purposes, it's still on a downwards momentum, 1843 right now. 1840 is where it started out this morning. So, you know, our next real level of support is 1805. So we still have room to make it down on the downside. Now, looking at crude oil, did retrace to $91 a barrel. So showing some weakness there. Now, shutdown in the U.S. government was averted as promised. I mean, this is just a game of politics, really, and it's just it's more of like drama than anything else. Surely the U.S. government is not going to shut down. However, you know, it gives lawmakers, both the Republicans and the Democrats, some bargaining power between each other. So the markets are bouncing up. The question is how much they're going to bounce up, and we are going into this month. It's going to be a very big month for earnings season. Most of the major high-tech corporations will be coming out with their corporate earnings towards the end of the month. So we're just consolidating here. And there's no clear indication in the NASDAQ or the Dow Jones that we're going one way or another. And in fact, when we look at the stocks, they're really mixed. If we look at Apple, it's on its lower end. Did it bounce? Yes. Microsoft on its lower end. However, Facebook is not on its lower end. It's still trading within a range close or mid-range to its all-time highs, okay? If we look at CISCO, it did retrace, but not on its bottoms, okay? It did make new all-time year highs just a few weeks ago. So this is really very important for us to keep a tab on because it's a mixed atmosphere here. If we look at JP Morgan, it's trading sideways. So the market is going to be trading sideways, at least for now, at least until we get some clarity moving forward as to how the companies are doing in light of this corporate situation that we're in with inflation, with very high interest rates. So this is still has to be seen by the market. Market really has to absorb what's going on. So we're watching a lot of mixed activity when it comes to stocks. I mean, like last week we mentioned AMD had a big rip and ripped above, right? And on a daily chart. And it's there, it's holding on to its gains. Okay, it did retrace just a little bit, but it's still relatively holding on to its gain. Now, lastly, looking at Bitcoin. Bitcoin got a spike to 28K, and you can see we're at that 200-day moving average. Now, the question is whether or not it'll hold on to it and continue pushing higher, okay? As you can see, we're hitting this high, and this is a double high on a 4-hour chart, but it's got to sustain it. It's got to give us that push higher for us to be able to, say we could get back to the 30K area, okay? So that's something to consider as this is back into play, maybe, okay? So give it a chance today and keep an eye on it because it may correct itself, right? Every time you see there's a spike, it corrected itself right afterwards. So I don't want to celebrate too quickly that it's going to be turning around and we're going to see an upwards momentum, but there is an opportunity either to fade it or if you see that it continues going higher to play the long side of it. This is Fed Razak. I want to wish everybody a great trading day. Thank you.